I've not been following the scientific news for a long time. Do we already have time machines? Time machine already invented or not? No. Still waiting. That would be nice, no? If we can just go any period in history or even the future. So yeah, so far not yet. But we have our mind. Exactly. Our mind can do that, right? We can go into the past, we can go into the future. Actually, we're quite good at that sometimes. So much that is sometimes even too much of it. We forget about the present moment. We always spend time somewhere else, in the past or the future. What we can do today, we can explore together. What do we actually mean when we say the past? What is the past in actuality as a personal experience? Because it sounds almost like time travel. But let's see, from the Buddhist perspective, when we speak of past, what does that mean? When we speak of future, what does that mean? And present moment, what does that mean? It sounds very obvious, but it's maybe not as obvious as it sounds. So, for that reason, I invite you to a journey into the past and the future. Please fasten your seatbelt, close your eyes, and we get into our meditation posture. We're sitting upright, relaxed. Check whether there's any tension in the body. And if yes, relax that part. And now we can select a moment in the past, something in our memory. Take something that is quite long ago, but you can remember it very clearly. Recall that situation. How was the weather like? Who were the people who were around? How did they feel at the time? You can deliberately choose a pleasant situation. Try to get more details. What time of the day was it? Maybe you can even remember the clothes you were wearing. Maybe not. This is what we call a memory. But are we really in the past right now? The past moment is over. So then what is it that we are experiencing now when we have a memory? It's a perception in the mind. accompanied by thoughts, feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Those thoughts, perceptions, and feelings are happening now. Even though the content of this perception relates to the past, but the experience of this memory is happening now. It may be somewhat similar to the event from the past, but not the same, because it is experienced now. It's a fresh perception, a new experience. It's an approximation. The past event is already over. It cannot be retrieved by itself. We can only recreate a new experience, somewhat similar to that from the past. Happening right now. But conditioned by this past event. This is what we call a memory. The past is over. But that doesn't mean that nothing has left behind. The past conditions the future. Actions we do frequently, or some very strong experiences, even if happening only once, can have a strong conditioning effect on the future. In that sense, the past still matters. Because it affects and conditions the present and the future. Speaking of the future, what is the future? It is that which has not yet arrived. Something that could happen. Something that will happen, but has not yet happened. So when we think about the future, or sometimes we worry about the future, what could happen? Or sometimes we look forward to the future, what hopefully will happen. But none of that has happened yet. So right now, what is the future? Every worry, plan, hope for the future is just a thought arising in the mind, right now, in the present. That thought comes with some content, with the perception. Imagining a future situation, pleasant or unpleasant. That thought comes with a certain feeling. Right now. Just like the past, the future is a combination of perceptions, thoughts, feelings occurring right now in personal experience. If I don't like a certain thought about the future, there's a lot of worry, anxiety. It is not the future that gives worry or anxiety. It's the thought. The thought about the future. If I don't want to have worry, anxiety, I don't need to change the future. All I would need to change is the thought. I could just drop it or replace it with some other thought. It's just a thought. The future has not yet arrived. It's conditioned by the past, as well as future circumstances that are outside my control. Very difficult to predict. Most of the time, the mind worries about things that never happen, that could happen, but in real life don't. All those worries, anxiety, for nothing. So it turns out, as a matter of personal experience, both the past and the future are just a combination of perceptions, thoughts, feelings, experienced in the present moment. We are not saying the past does not exist or the future does not exist. That's not the point. But as a matter of personal experience, the past is over, the future has not yet arrived. The past still affects the present moment and the future. The future will also affect further events. Cause and condition. So then, what is the present moment? Again, we can see, hear, smell, taste, body sensations, or think. All those are happening in the present moment. The mind can also think about the past or the future, as we have just learned. But these thoughts do occur in the present moment. It's a present experience. It's an experience right now of hearing the sound of the traffic. There's an experience right now of hearing the birds. Feeling the body. Of thinking about the meaning of all of this. That's also an experience happening in the present moment. Accompanied by perception, thoughts, usually, feelings, intentions sometimes. Whether we are aware of it or not, the present moment always happens. One moment by moment. And immediately turns into the past. Present moment turning into the past. Before it happened, it was the future. Then it's the present, then it's past. Future becomes present, present becomes past. Constantly. how can we become aware of the present moment? Present moment awareness. What is this? Well, there are two things. One is the present moment, the experience of seeing, hearing, and so on. The other one is awareness. Seeing is happening. Hearing is happening. The birds are making a sound. That awareness is different from the actual hearing, from the actual seeing. You can experiment. Let us listen to the sound of the birds. The different frequencies. And then be aware that you're listening to the sound of the birds. Is it the same as the actual hearing the sound? Being aware, the other birds, they're making sounds. No, they are two different things. One arises in ear consciousness, the actual hearing. The other one is mind consciousness, knowing of hearing. Hearing is happening. Or this is a bird. What comes first? First comes the sense experience. Then comes the knowing. So really, when we speak of present moment awareness, it is awareness of the immediate past, of the moment that has just passed. It's a recollection. And then the mind returns to the actual hearing, seeing, thinking. And then afterwards becoming aware. Yeah, thinking is happening. I'm aware. Seeing is happening. But at that time, it's already over. So the mind goes back and forth. Were all the problems happening in the past? All the difficulties? Regrets? No, they're happening in the present moment. They're thoughts about past events. Where are all the worries coming from? In the future? No. They also occur in the present moment. Thoughts, perceptions about potential future events. So then, if all the problems and trouble arise in the present, then maybe the solution should also be applied to the present. We don't have to go and repair and fix the past. We don't have to go and direct the future and make it happen according to my plan, to my desires. Because all of that is just arising in the present moment. It's an experience, perception, thoughts, accompanied by feelings. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Training the mind to be in the present is the solution. And this can also bring a sense of relief. Because the present moment, at least we have some influence. We can provide conditions for the present moment to be either one way or another. Whereas we cannot change the past. And also it's hard to predict and make the future happen in a certain way. But the present moment, we have much more influence over. We can give direction, train the mind. And this will determine our experience in the future, which at that time will become the present moment. This realization is very empowering, like rockets, firecrackers, a lot of power. Realizing the power of the mind. The power of the mind that is well trained, well practiced. Liberated. slowly coming to an end of this meditative reflection. You can open the eyes again and get back to normal. So this was our little time travel. I hope nobody got stuck in the past. Anyone got stuck? Often it seems that when we are young, we spend a lot of time thinking about the future, planning and anticipating what could happen, what will I do in the future, almost impatient. And then as we get older, we transition straight into thinking a lot about the past, or past experiences, past memories. It's almost we miss out completely on the present moment in the middle. But it's actually there where actual insight happens, where actual experience happens. And it's also there where we can give direction one way or another. So it's very important to keep that in mind from time to time.